And Aliyah Boston is definitely frustrated with the current play that Alyssa Thomas did. Somebody said, get him, AB. Somebody said, I hate Boston, man. Oh, man, y'all tripping there. Another person said, I just love our Aliyah Boston. Say it loud, and AB is a kind human. Is CC going to calm spicy AB down, or vice versa? Or do the Fever really ramp up the heat with these two on fire? Somebody said it looked like
Aliyah Boston's reaction to the play involving Alyssa Thomas said more than any replay ever could. The frustration on her face was obvious, and it felt heavier than a normal in-game disagreement. This was not a quick moment of annoyance that fades once play resumes. It was something deeper, something that had clearly been building. When Boston was pushed toward the sideline, her body language made it clear that she felt disrespected, not just fouled. Fans quickly jumped online to react, and as always, opinions were split. Some people unfairly attacked Boston, saying they did not like her or blaming her for the situation. Others immediately came to her defense, reminding everyone who she is and what she represents. Aliyah Boston has earned respect throughout her career, not only because of her talent, but also because of how she carries herself. She is widely known as a kind, grounded person who plays the game the right way. Seeing her push to that emotional edge caught many people off guard. What made the moment even more intense was how personal it felt. This did not look like two players fighting for position or getting tangled during a loose ball. It looked intentional. That is why people described her expression as barely controlled anger. It was the kind of reaction that comes when someone feels repeatedly tested or ignored. The timing of this incident made everything worse. While this moment played out in an unrivaled game, the WNBA itself is facing one of the most critical periods in its history. The entire 2025 season is at risk because of an ongoing contract dispute between the league and the Players Association. Instead of the focus being on growth, excitement, and building on last year's success, the spotlight has shifted to tension, disagreements, and uncertainty. That is where the Alyssa Thomas situation becomes more complicated. She is not a young player still learning how to control her emotions. She is a veteran and a regular MVP candidate. She is one of the faces of the league. When someone at that level becomes known more for physical confrontations and trash talk than for basketball skill, it creates a problem. Fans begin to question what the league is trying to sell. Some people compared Thomas to Draymond Green, not as a joke, but as a serious comparison. In the NBA, Draymond is respected, but he is also controversial. If someone like him were a consistent MVP candidate, fans would question what the league values most. That same question is now being asked about the WNBA. Are star players being celebrated for elite play, or for chaos and conflict? What gets lost in all of this is the actual basketball. In that same unrivaled game, Aliyah Boston had an excellent performance. She scored efficiently, rebounded well, defended the rim, and showed why she is considered one of the league's top talents. Kelsey Mitchell also had a strong night, scoring with confidence and efficiency. These were all-star level performances, yet none of that became the main story. The headlines focused on the shove, the argument, and the tension. That pattern has followed the WNBA for years, and it is especially damaging now. When drama overshadows skill, it hurts the league's image, especially among new fans who are still deciding whether to invest their time and interest. Boston's resume makes this situation even more frustrating. She is not just another good player. She was WNBA Rookie of the Year, a multiple-time All-Star, and one of the most decorated college players of her generation. At South Carolina, she won nearly every major individual award available. She dominated on the biggest stages and helped define a winning culture. Players like her are supposed to be the foundation of the league's future. Instead, she is caught in viral moments that focus on conflict rather than excellence. This ties directly into the larger issue surrounding the league right now, the collective bargaining agreement. Reports have surfaced that WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is exploring the idea of buying back a 16% ownership stake that was sold to outside investors in 2022. At the time, selling that stake helped raise capital and support growth. Now, it may be standing in the way of progress. Those investors are partial owners, which means they have influence over major decisions. According to some analysts, they may be hesitant to approve a deal that dramatically increases salaries if it puts financial stability at risk. From their perspective, protecting the long-term health of the league protects their investment. Buying back that stake could remove a major obstacle in negotiations, but it would be incredibly expensive. Those investors bought in before the league experienced record growth, expanded attention, and the Caitlin Clark effect. Their share is worth far more now than it was then. Buying them out would likely cost hundreds of millions of dollars, money the league may not have available. This is where the players' demands collide with financial reality. The league has reportedly offered a deal that includes a maximum salary of over $1 million per year, along with revenue sharing tied to performance. To many fans, that sounds like a strong offer. To the Players Association, it was labeled a slap in the face. That phrase caused serious damage. When fans hear players call seven-figure salaries insulting, it creates disconnect. This is especially true for casual viewers who just discovered the WNBA through stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Clark, the biggest draw in women's basketball history, makes around $76,000 on her rookie contract. Reese earns a similar amount. These players are selling out arenas and generating massive revenue, yet their salaries remain low. That reality supports the argument for higher pay. However, when veteran players reject million-dollar offers publicly, it becomes difficult for fans to understand the messaging. Many people work full-time jobs earning far less. Fair or not, perception matters. The Players Association has countered by asking for a salary cap more than double what the league proposed. They also want the cap tied to gross revenue instead of net revenue, which would significantly change the business model. This approach mirrors the NBA, but the WNBA is not yet operating at the same financial level. Despite record growth in 2024, most reports suggest the league still loses money overall. This is where Rebecca Lobo's comments become important. Lobo is not just a media personality. She is a Hall of Famer and someone who has watched the league fight for relevance for decades. When she warns that players are losing public support, it should be taken seriously. She pointed out that coming off a historic season filled with sold-out crowds and mainstream attention, calling a $1 million offer disrespectful sends the wrong message. Casual fans are being asked to choose a side, and many are choosing neither. Instead, they are tuning out. Language matters. Tone matters. Public messaging matters. Some player comments, especially in media appearances, have come across as arrogant rather than confident. Statements about knowing how to get deals done or how to run things may resonate internally, but to outsiders they feel dismissive. While all of this happens behind closed doors, fans see only the surface. They see unrivaled games with declining viewership. They see players wearing shirts demanding more money. They see fights and confrontations instead of clean basketball. They also see that some of the same players negotiating the CBA are founders of Unrivaled, a league that benefits if the WNBA season does not happen. This creates a serious conflict of interest. If the WNBA locks out players or cancels the 2025 season, Unrivaled gains access to top talent, increased attention, and more leverage with sponsors and broadcasters.